What is up, fellas? I'm back again. It's F.T.B.S breakdown number 41, and today I am going to give you a Rio guide. This is one of the characters in the game that, if you saw my last video, I put him in the unexplored tier list, in the unexplored category of my tier list. But I've been exploring the character a lot, and I think I've got, you know, just a general synopsis on how to play the character. Enough to put it into a guide for you, for anybody who might need help or like pointers on how to play him. So let's talk about, first of all, pros and cons. What does Rio do well? The thing that Rio does well is he's really good at punishing you for your mistakes. He's very good. He's probably one of the best in the game after Andy. He's really good at punishing your mistakes. And you know, you would say, well, it's KoF, Chris. I mean, all characters punish your mistakes, but he has ways to do it that are not traditional, and we'll go over that. Cons. He does not have the best normals. And that's jumping, right? This is jump light. This is jump heavy. This is jump light kick. This is jump heavy kick. This is jump CD. He doesn't have the best normals. This is light, heavy, light kick, heavy kick. Light, heavy, light kick, heavy kick. But he does have some quirks about his normals that are interesting. I feel like there was a lot of ideas for him, but none of them are really fully committed on. Take his crouching heavy punch. Comes out fairly fast. You know, I think last game in 14 it was 3 frames. I don't know if it's still 3 frames, but you can see. I mean, the thing is, it's a hell of an anti-air when stopping hops. This is really good, really good. His stand CD is, as you can see, very deceptive range. It has very deceptive range, and it can be played at a range where his stand heavy kick and his sweep also connects. So, you know, just keep that in mind. Very deceptive range here. And then if you couple this with the new Shatter Strike mechanic where you get the armor and you just throw it out, chef's kiss. it's beautiful. But his normals aren't the best. So in my particular guides, if I make a guide on a character, one, I'm going to explore the character. But when I go about exploring the character, I'm going to put them on point, I'm going to put them on mid, I'm going to put them on anchor, and then I'm going to tell you guys where that character best shines as. And for Rio, in his case, the game, you know, SNK intentioned were for you to play him on anchor, but I think he really shines mid. He's a very good mid character. I wouldn't say very good in the sense of like, oh, you know, like the character, his buttons and everything are really good, but he's really good at punishing you. And when he comes out second, he'll have the meter to really punish you. We'll get more into what I'm speaking of. So let's just go over his special moves real quick. So this is his fireball. His fireball sucks. It has always been that way. His fireball is trash. Keynotes about it. A heavy punch fireball moves him forward, and it's a bit more active, as you saw there. So, and then his EX fireball actually shoots a fireball, and it's fairly decent. Fast speed, 2 hits, you know, good. It's nice and sturdy, you know, it goes through fireballs, so you know you can kind of take those trades, but it costs a half a bar, so you're not going to be throwing that out liberally. Tatsu, light Tatsu, 2 hits. Heavy kick Tatsu, 3 hits. Keynotes. This is your combo starter. If you're not punishing big like this is what you want to look for. He cannot combo out of his light kicks. He cannot special counsel out of his light kicks. He can't do it. Okay? So what you want to do is you want to light kick, light punch, Tatsu. Light kick, light punch also combos into heavy Tatsu, which does grant access. I mean, when he's in the corner, the world is your oyster. But that's true for a lot of KoF characters. But he really does shine in the corner because he gets a lot of meterless damage. So this is the light kick Tatsu. So you can do something like that. I mean, that was very general, but you can do. There you go. You can do something like that. And that was just 1 bar, 316. So in the corner, that is really dangerous. It's really dangerous. But generally playing Rio, you want to look out for things like this. Even if you do a jump in attempt, right? You want to. That's how you're going to get your combo started. Is with light kick, light punch. It confirms really well, really well. So even from a space, he'll still get him. EX acts like Roberts, right? It gives you a pop up, leads to more combo routes. and it starts up at the same, it starts up kind of like as the same as the light kick, you know, but gives you the pop-up of the heavy kick. So that's his EX Tatsu. And then we get into, I mean, command normals. We got to talk about command normals because it's KoF. We got to talk about the command normals. Chop, slow startup. It's an overhead. What if it's counseled? You know, you cannot. It's not an overhead if you counsel it into a normal. So doesn't do too much. It behaves like it behaves. You know, if you catch somebody sleeping, you can max counsel. You know, and you can do all that fun stuff. He does have this back light punch command normal. It's plus on block, but I mean, nobody's going to really respect that, you know, because again, the game is so new. Everybody's doing this, and we're going to get into that. Everybody's mashing out of pressure, or they're DPing out of pressure. Pressure in quotation marks. So I mean, you can use it, but it doesn't really have a lot of uses, to my knowledge. This is one of those things I'm just kind of like, why is this even here? So that's his command normals. So let's talk about like Ryo. Let's talk about the bread and butter special move, the premier special move, if you will, fellas. And that's the parry, right? Parry. So you get, if you hit forward and light kick, you get high parry. Hit forward and heavy punch, you get low parry. Pretty standard stuff. One thing I want you to get out of your mind right now, as we talk about this parry, this is not a parry. This is armor. He's activating armor here. This is not a parry. Why is it not a parry? One, it does not start up on frame 1. You cannot wake up off the ground and go, oh, parry. You know, you can't do that. The high or the low. The high parry does have recovery frames to it, but the low parry you can use to counsel the recovery frames of your command normal. So if he was blocking, I would do something like, you know, the notorious sweep low parry, right? To counsel the frames, my recovery frames of my sweep, and still continue with my pressure. Crouching heavy punch, like I said, a lot of quirks, right? So crouching heavy punch, like I said, notorious button, used to be 3 frames. I don't know if it's still 3 frames in this game, but it can create a lot of frame trap situations when coupled with the low parry. So, you know, it could be something like that, right? Where you could do a frame trap. So, you know, just keep that in mind. So now let's talk about his game plan. What does he want to do, right? I've already expressed to you that Ryo is really good at punishing you. He wants to punish you. And how you do that, how you go about that, depends on your level of Ryo. You know, depends on what level you're at when playing Ryo. So we're going to talk about parry, right? How you go about parrying people in this game. So again, like I said, it's not a parry, it's armor. So if we set the dummy to fireball, right? That's the big thing, right? So if we set him to fireball, he'll get these armor. He activates his kind of armor frames. Keynotes to take away about parry. You need all the keynotes. So you can't hit buttons after it. He has to recover first in order to, you know, hit a button of any kind. But it is special counselable after blocking the fireball. See, it's special counselable. So you can counsel all of his specials into it. So that's a good thing. Why is that a good thing? Because remember, I talked about your level of experience. Ryo is a character. He does behave a lot like Ryu. You have to take a Street Fighter approach in a KoF game. Let me say that again. That's a keynote. That's something you want to write down. You've got to take a Street Fighter approach in a KoF game. So there's not going to be a lot of hot pressure from you. There's not going to be a lot of jump attempts from you. It's going to be a lot of this. A lot of this. A lot of this. A lot of this. This into this. You know, just a lot of that stuff. A lot of this into this, right? There'll be a lot of that stuff. Parrying fireballs, DPing, anti-airing people out of the sky with his really good crouching heavy punch and DP respectively. So all of this works in tangent and combination to punish the opponent. Matchup experience is what Ryo needs to be really good. He's just not good at face value like some of the other characters. Like take Robert, you know. Robert is just a really good character at face value. Ryo's a person you got to do your homework. So it starts off like, oh, okay, you know, he's shooting these fireballs, whatever, I'm parrying them, you know, I'm nice. But then as I started to play, it turned into this. What happened there? I punished him. I punished his fireball with my EX Tatsu. So I because the parry is special counselable, if I'm sitting at this distance and I parry a fireball, it turns into less of like, oh, I just parried that, I'm nice, into like, no, I parried this and now I'm gonna blow you up for it. Let's see an example. I missed it. You're supposed to do KoF in there when mid-screen, but you know, you get the point, right? So again, it's all about your level of experience when dealing with this type of when dealing with Ryo and his parries. So again, continuing with the keynotes. So right, how you use parry is going to determine how much time you put into Ryo. I just showed you a classic example. I did not know this was a thing, you know. I didn't know that was a thing that you can do that, and so I just kept playing and practicing with him, and I realized, oh, wait a minute, fellas, we may have something here, you know. We may have something here. So again, it's really matchup. It's matchup based and it's experience based. How you use your parry. Parry also beats wake up reversal. It also beats wake up reversal. I want to show that off. Down. Okay, I think I have it pre-recorded. Right. Oh no, no. Oh, I gotta record it. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. I can record it. Right. So we got the reversal there. So now it's down reversal. So whenever he gets up, he's gonna DP right off the ground. Right. Standard stuff. But experience, right? Experience in knowing how people want to play the game, experience in the matchup is where Ryo is really going to shine to punish people. He's looking for you to overcommit and he wants to punish you for it. Okay? The problem with Ryo is he's no Joe. He can't fireball you. You jump the fireball. If you're close, I'm going to tiger knee you. If you're far away, I'm going to do the axe kick, right? And get over there and punish you for jumping the fireball anyways. That's not how he operates. He's really looking to punish you based off of his moveset. So again, I gave the example of the fireball and, you know, parrying the fireball into EX Tatsu into this combo. So it's the same thing. So let's give I don't think I can give an example here because this is down reversal. But let's say if I did this, and I did this, and I did this. When most people tech, they flip out like that, what do? They DP. They DP. They always DP you. So it's your job to be ready for this, right? First, you get the information. Okay? Whack him out. I whacked him out of the sky. That was a bad example, but you know, I hit him out of the sky. Let's see what he does here. You know, if he rolls or whatever, you take the data. But most people, generally, most people are going to DP though, and you parry. You just parry the DP. So he can do this from the ground. I'll show that. Oh, well, I got punched in the face for trying to show it. Robert ain't playing with me. See? Now, because he recovers on his high parry, remember he has to recover from the parry. This is really good when you're punishing things that have a lot of recovery to them. So I'll do this again to show you. Right? Look how much time I had there. Look how much time I had there to parry him. I could now do my normals because I've recovered from my parry and he still has to recover from his DP. Key moves. This move, the parry, is really effective against Terry's burn knuckle. Very effective because he has to the recovery to burn knuckle is so long that I can now go, well, I'm just gonna punish you for it. You know, I'm just gonna punish you for it, right? And that's what he wants to do. You have to, in a perfect scenario, your Ryo needs to train the opposition. You have to be able to say, look, opposition, I know my shit. You're not going to get away with the things that you normally get away with. And if you can train your opposition, depending on what level you're playing at, to go, I can't shoot a fireball in this range. He's going to parry, he's going to EX Tatsu. I can't shoot a fireball in this range. It's your job to make that happen, right? That's your job. And how do we do that? With the example that I showed you. EX Tatsu, and you go into full combo. I mean, you blow them up for it, you know? You blow them up for it. You know, you're not going to get away with the things that you're not just going to zone me out all day. So you force them to take more risk. You force them to overextend. This is how you get people to overextend with Ryo. Now you start to see his game plan come into fruition a little more. He's not a character who wants to just hound you. He doesn't want to just be in your face with all this impressive moves and special moves and stop counters. He don't have any of that. All he's got is fist. He got these hands. That's all he's got. And it's your job to really punish people. What do I mean by that? So let me set another scenario. If I can I'm gonna set another scenario here. So standard. I'm gonna have him. Oh, this is the fireball one. I had to put him another way. Let's record him again, and let's just say, like, you know, Robert just does some stuff like that, right? Let's just say he's doing that. Let's say he goes in for a jumping attempt, right? He can parry air normals. I'm trying to do it. He can parry the air normals in this game. As soon as I figure out how to do it, if he stops jumping in my face, one more time. Up too early there. I never used this, but you saw it there. You saw the example there. I never use this unless I know a jump is coming. But again, this is really the range you want to play him at. This is the range where you're looking for him to overcommit. Because if he does, look how easy it was that time. You know what I mean? I saw the hop coming, and then I can parry him for it, right? See what I mean? And it's your job to really make it hurt. So in a perfect world, you would do something like this. As soon as I can get it. I missed it that time, but I got the parry. Oh, missed it that time too. But you get the point. You get the point. You wanna parry. You wanna parry the so you wanna have enough time to parry it, and then you can cancel it into DP, and then you can tack on a super afterwards. Again, he really wants to blow you up for that. You know, you have to train them to know that, like, everything you're doing from this distance is not going to work anymore. It's not going to work anymore. Finally, I got it. You see my point? Now you would say, oh, well, you know, break, that was pretty expensive. It was 1 bar, but it's the emotional damage that you're trying to inflict on your opposition. It's the, how do I approach this wall? You know, he looks like a refrigerator for a reason, right? He's just this sturdy wall. He looks that way for a reason, you know? And it's this right about here is where you want to operate. Right about here, where you can see everything coming. If he throws a fireball, if he does a jump in, you know, you're good to go, right? You can react to it properly. But he really, even if you DP this, you want to be able to punish. You want to be able to really make it count. And he can't do that on point because he doesn't have a lot of meter. All you would really get there is, you know, DP. You would just get DP. That's all you would get, because again, match start, 0 bar. He does a jump in, you see the jump in, all you would get is 81 damage from it. But when he comes in mid, he at least has a bar, you know, so you can at least kind of go, you know, DP into super. Forgive me, I'm talking and doing this at the same time. It's really difficult. But you know, you can do things like that. Please, video game. Nope, that was too early. There you go. But you can do things like that. And again, it depends on your level of, you know, one, expertise, as we can clearly see, and your knowledge of the game, right? But you really want to take your when they overcommit, you really got to make it count with Rio. You have to train them to sit still. This is one of the real reasons why he will, with time, he can be up there. But if you're fighting somebody who don't know squat about Rio, it can seem next to impossible, because you can't really train them, and you've only got so long to train them. So if you play him on point, and we do the fireball game that we talked about, and you do the EX, when his next character comes out, he's going to realize, I can't do that. I can't do that anymore. You see my point? So again, you're really looking for him to overcommit, and you're trying to capitalize off of that. Corner, we can talk about him being in the corner. So in the corner, right, you get your, you can combo. Remember we talked about you can combo the hard punch Tatsu. But what a lot of people don't realize is you can get a full combo from this. Let me see if I can replicate it for you. There it is. Right? You can get a whole combo. You can get a whole combo. 361 damage, 1 bar. 1 bar. He's really good in the corner. But again, if we hold this space, not this space, hold this space, because you got to be ready for whatever he's trying to do. And then once he realizes, kind of like, oh, he's just gonna sit there and wait for me. That's when you do that's when the jump in attempts start. You know, because now he's like, well, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna hide in the corner. You know, I know you nice with the parries. I ain't gonna do nothing. You know, so then that's when you go, again, training the opponent to move in a way that you want them to move. You know, Ryu, it's training your opponent to overcommit so you can punish him. The issue that I see with Rio, me, and other Rios, respectively, in this community is not making it count. And that could be because of combo drops, executions, but you really gotta make it count. You really do. So let's set him to down reversal. Again, down reversal. So again, right, I'll sweep him. Wait, of course it turns on. I'll sweep him, parry, right? Now it's my job to blow him up away. But see, if you drop, see, I dropped it there. I dropped the link there, the crouch and hard punch into the EX hands. If you drop, your opponent's gonna go, he ain't got those anyway, so I'm just gonna DP again. So it's really up to you to kind of get the execution and to understand the character in a way that, again, is always a threat, right? He's solid. Look at his stance. He's solid. And that's how you got to play him. You know, you can't be dropping combos. Every inch has to count. Every inch has to count with Ryo. You're not looking to pressure the opponent with your amazing normals because you don't have them. You know, you're looking for them to overextend. Also, we talk about hands really quick. So hands. Forward, back, forward, punch. Right? Forward, back, forward, punch. So when you're in this range and you're looking, like you said, I'm trying to be ready for whatever, don't be afraid to throw this out. Don't be afraid to just like that. You'd be surprised at how many rolls forward you catch, how many jump ins you catch, how many like buttons you press, right? We know Robert has a back heavy kick. It's a really long reaching normal. You'd be surprised at how many times you'd catch somebody with this. Keynotes to this move. The light version grants you a hard knockdown. In the corner, this is huge because hard knockdown, sweep, hop, safe jump. That's supposed to be a hop though, but it's a safe jump. He can get a safe jump off of that, and I'm going to show you how again. So you do your combo, whatever you do. It's always best to end into this. Sweep for the whip frames, jump kick. If he DP'd there, you're holding back, it's a safe jump. You'll block, and you see what I mean? It's about safe, trying to get your opponent to overextend. That's what it's about. Very, very strong. Very strong. If you don't have the meter to do the super, because all supers give you hard knockdowns. So if you don't have the meter to do the super, you should actively be trying to end in light punch hands, because you get a hard knockdown anyways into your safe jump setup. Hard punch starts up slower. That's a grab, Chris. Hard punch starts up slower, but it gives him the pop-up, right? It gives him the pop-up that he can combo off of. And then EX hands obviously do both, right? It starts up like the light one, but it still gives him the pop-up that he can use. So again, that's pretty much it, fellas. That's the character. That's generally the character. I know there are some things that like I haven't really touched on, more advanced things, like you can if I set him to guard, oops, stand, set him to guard all. There's things like this that you can do, you know, where you can jab. You know, there's some frame traps. He got a lot of frame traps and things that you can do. Another thing we didn't talk about is Ryo's guard, what he does to your guard. So in 13, he had this really unique mechanic where he did more guard damage than normal characters in the game. And even now, it's still there, but it's not as nearly as good as it used to be. I mean, in 13, it was crazy. You could not sit in a corner and deal with this character for too long. It was wild. It was still pretty good in 14. They kind of like nerfed it. I would love to see that return as a closing remark for Ryo. You know, so if we talked about how to help the character, he doesn't need a real fireball. If you give him a real fireball, then him and Robert are basically the same character, except one's Ken and one's Ryu. One's flashier, one hits harder. You don't want that, right? Nobody wants that. What I want to be able to do with Ryo is I want to be able to force you, like we talked about, to overcommit. I want to get you here, and when I get you here, that's when I really should start, you know, the guard damage, right? How long can you hold on? Basically is what I want to push. This move, I would make this move do at least 20% of your guard gauge. Free. 20%. I'd force you to make an action. Right? Now I can force you to overextend because you're in the combo. You're in the corner, in the corner, right? That's one of the things that I would love to see return to this character. It's just his guard. I mean, it's still good. It's good. You know, it's good. It's pretty good. It's not terrible, but I mean, he used to have it going on back in the day. And that's, like I said, generally, you know, that's my synopsis on how to play Ryo. I would play some mid. I would learn the matchups. Again, we talked about baiting the DP reversal. I'm going to give a word of caution to that before we end. Certain DPs hit more than once. It's your job to lab them. I labbed all of mine. I tried. Certain DPs hit more than once. Robert's DP only hits one time. But certain DPs hit more than once. And this is key if you really want those big punishes. And yeah, that's that. Let me know if I missed anything in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking. Consider subscribing. I think my next video, we're going to have an honest talk about the state of the FGC. I've been quiet for too long, damn it. And I'm going to voice my opinion about it. But that's pretty much my guide. That wraps up how to play Rio. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Again, this is Breakdown, F.T.B.S. Breakdown, number 41, and I'm out of here.